fire up this stream.
What happened? What happened?
This is a non-alcoholic energetic drink because it's 4 p.m. I'm pretty beat up today. It's been a long day. But here we are on the live stream.
Yes, it has been a long day. It has been a long week. It has been a lot of work. And in the meanwhile, I'm still finishing the work. So yeah, it's, everyone is in this super busy, exciting pre-Christmas time. And it's getting hot and hot in here.
Are you pushing to production few days before holidays?
No. But we have planned release next week, I think. But tomorrow
so you will be pushing to production.
No, because tomorrow I'm starting my holidays. So I'm basically
okay.
So I'm completing tasks and passing them to QAs. Oh, and it's whoo.
Yeah. Hello everyone. Hello Ryan.
Hello everyone.
Hello Grzegorz. How are you guys? How are you guys doing? Are you busy as well before Christmas?
Technically people say that the Christmas time is the time when nobody works at all. I would say from the start of December, people start to slow down and down and slower. And then the last, I guess, 2 weeks is basically nothing happening. I did this mistake a couple of years ago to go to work during this period between Christmas and New Year. It was fucking nightmare.
That's not. I do that all the time. That's my favorite part of the year because it's really quiet and I can focus on the things that I wanted to do for a really long time, but I never have time for them. So this time of the year, so I come back from my parents and there's like 3 days of actual work and it's so quiet and peaceful.
That's true, but if you're trying to do some project work when you need to communicate with decision makers, ask for some directions, then you are screwed, basically.
Yeah. No way you can communicate with people, but that's the point. That's the point. You can just be in your zone and push things forwards that you wanted to do. I want to actually I have 2 articles to write, and writing the article requires me to focus only on this for I don't know 5-7 hours, just playing around with just one thing. If someone interrupts me and I'm getting out of the flow, I'm not able to finish that.
It reminds me of the what was the name of the animation? The King's.
You need to provide more details.
Emperor's Clothes.
The Emperor's New Groove. Yeah.
Yeah. This one.
You killed my vibe.
Okay, how about we introduce ourselves to 14 people that are watching us right now, which is a low number because you all bunch already went to a holiday. You all bunch are already eating whatever you eat for holiday. So if you're watching this recorded, here is the introduction. Hello, everyone. This is a live stream, weekly live stream, where me and Kevin from Callstack, we bring you some guests, some topics to contemplate about and to learn about. And where we learn those topics from experts like Shimon, who is pushing to production right before Christmas.
Again, I forgot that my perspective is different. So you were pointing in the wrong direction.
Oh, really?
And yeah, I think that's...
He told you it's not that simple, Łukasz.
Well, for me, he's below us.
I know, but your camera is mirrored.
So okay. So I shouldn't do this. I should do this.
Yeah.
Okay.
From my perspective, it's like this. Yeah, so a couple of words about myself. I guess you people recognize me already because I've been there on the live streams about Rosenite, I guess. That was the first one, about the first library I shipped while being at Callstack. Then there was the harness one about testing. And now there's the third one about Voltra. So yeah, I'm the creator of Rosenite, harness, and co-creator of Voltra.
So
and that's the topic we are
basically,
going to talk about today.
you are gathering infinity stones for your infinity glove. So like all of the frameworks in one. That's an Avengers
How many
reference.
stones there were? Like 5?
5,
Or
yeah, for each
6? 5.
finger.
Okay, so two left.
Or 4?
I
I
think
don't know
5.
what the hell are you talking about.
Avengers, Thanos, Infinity Stones, the Gauntlet.
No,
Nothing. Like
no way,
okay.
no way.
I sometimes think that Łukasz, after like he finishes all of the job or like all of the articles and work and everything, he just sits down in a room and he just chills.
Yeah, I
That's
go like knitting or something. I make sweaters.
My wife does that. She recently finished one sweater. She's so proud.
Next week, we're gonna show off the sweaters of Kevin's wife.
And I will be wearing them.
Oh yeah, like
Yeah, the fun fact I'm wearing the new Callstack flag, but the problem is that my camera is way too high to show them. So people need to kind of take my word for it that I'm wearing a new theme of Callstack, which is slightly different.
if you
Well,
want
there's
to,
one similar thing. Like the T-shirt is super wide. Like
yeah,
I don't know why, but it's super wide. I would say 2 of me would fit in the same T-shirt. So like, I don't know.
people watching us, if you want to see our swag, go to instagram.com/Callstack or whatever, something like that. Instagram profile of
You know,
Callstack.
I have the package. If we want to show something,
Show the
package
pack,
right
like
here.
the box.
The box with all the.
Yeah, I have the box behind me as well.
So
Yeah,
that's the box, like the huge box of nice things. Whoops. So what do we want to show? Which one?
Show us the pants. Show us the pants.
Pants are normal, like. So
this is the unboxing live stream.
So our Callstack club, like I'm not sure if it's visible. Not really. So it will be hard with all the lights going at me because right now the text is not visible. But you need to kind of trust me again that there's a text saying Callstack club.
If you want to see the clothes in all of its beauty, go to Instagram. If you want to own them, go to callstack.com/careers and apply to work with us. We are always looking for new talent that can help us bring all of those like crazy libraries to life. Shimon can't do it alone, guys. So like, come in, join us.
It would be such a great reason for someone to join the company.
For the clothes.
Like, yeah, the merge. The merge was so fire. I just had to work here.
Or maybe help me. That's also awesome. I mean, some projects I work on are awesome.
Today's topic is Voltra, which is a name for the library. And if you saw us like tweeting about this live stream, you know what it is. It's about bringing the iOS native experiences like live activities and dynamic island, and I guess the third one as well. That's a surprise. And Voltra is allowing you to bypass the horrible Apple ecosystem, horrible Xcode setup, and horrible Swift. Okay, Swift is not horrible. And just do it directly in React Native, I guess. I haven't seen it yet. I know that a bunch of people already tweeted about this, and we have Shimon to talk about it. So Shimon, okay, so first question. Will you share the screen on today's live stream?
In a minute.
Okay.
But I think we should start with the genesis of the name. And
no,
the idea
I don't want to start with the name, with the genesis of the name. You know what I want to start with? I want to start with like showcasing what is actually live activity, what is actually like dynamic island functionality or whatever. Like, go to some Apple docs and like explain what we can do with them. Like, why are they useful?
All right, so I need a minute to go to
I can do that,
developers
but
of
I don't know where
Apple.
to go.
I
So
have the page
you
already,
will
so
direct me. I'm gonna open
no
up
worries. I
my.
have the page, and I will share it in a second. So
Okay, cool. So don't
that's the
share it
page
now.
I've been on multiple times, like I would say dozen of times this week. Basically what I'm presenting, nothing yet. So we are interested in this page. So
Yep.
it's a bit bigger, maybe bigger.
Nice. That's the great.
Like this?
That's the great resolution. Yeah.
Okay. So actually, let me open a second page. So I've activated the Apple because this one is like, okay, this is the one because this one is about like API for displaying, and this one is about
Yeah.
the
More
live activities
pictures.
themselves.
The more
Yeah.
pictures, the better.
So if you are iOS user, if you own an iPhone, you may notice that some applications can display like super fancy notifications in your lock screen. And not only lock screen, but also they can display certain, let's say, information on the dynamic islands. So, for example, on the left side of your island, I guess, on the right side, and even like the space can be bigger, allowing the app to show some more info. So this is not only technically this is not only for iPhone. The same principle can be applied to, for example, MacBooks with the recent macOS version because they also support live activities.
Oh, really?
Apple Watch, yep. The same goes to Apple Watch. We have like Smart Stack, which you can technically also use something like something
For
like
Apple
live
Watch.
activity. Yep. If you own it, if you go, I think this is the second screen with the stack of widgets because
Yeah, I think
like
you will not see it.
when it comes
Something
to
like that.
like terminology, it's a little bit complex because technically live activities are different thing than widgets, but at the same time, they both use widget kit. And they are initialized in the code in a really, really similar way. Like when you initialize your widgets, you also initialize your live activities. So they're kind of connected, but a totally different experiences with totally different limitations.
So is the difference here just making sure, because I worked on both, and the first thing that kind of hit me was that on iOS, working with widgets, you basically have one single call which schedules how the widget will look like for let's say entire day. So it's like you create entries that are spread across the entire day and change the display. So I assume that with live activities, it's more more live, more dynamic.
Exactly. For example, when it comes to widgets, from my experience with working with widgets, it turns out that you can only update them once per minute, maybe a couple of times per minute, because then the operating system will throttle you down because you're using too much resources, basically.
Yeah, this is what I heard. This is what I heard, that you have a budget of refreshes of your UI.
Yep. But when it comes to live activities, you can do whatever you want. As long as you're driving them from your app, you can update them constantly.
Kill the battery.
The battery. Yeah, there's of course the budget for like server-side updates via push notifications, which is the same as for push notifications. You can send a couple of them per minute, and that's pretty much it. Unless you add some properties to info list file saying that you are expecting frequent updates via push notifications. But technically, live activities are live, and widgets are widgets. Less live.
One important distinction for the difference between push notification, because both of them use APNS server, and the APNS server.
Can you say that again?
APNS server.
Yep.
Yeah. And with the APNS server, it needs two separate keys. one for regular push notifications and one for live activities, because Apple actually limits and throttles. There is also an S at the end. It's service. It's APNS. So it throttles and limits how often can you send those live activity updates. So they have separate APIs and separate processing pipelines for both push notifications and push notifications of the type live activity update. Just sorry, I'm just kind of bragging because this is a lot of knowledge I gathered
You
from
know a lot.
Yeah, because I was like, listen, I was implementing live activities and widgets before Shimon started. I like to think that I was the one who inspired him to start doing that.
We even spent some time together working on those widgets, because on those live activities, like, let's be precise.
Yeah. I like to think that that's why I hate telling Shimon my problems and my issues, because he just for giggles, he just creates a proof of concept, and then 2 days later he writes, you know what, I made it into the library, basically it works.
It happens, like, okay, so maybe going back to the topic.
Yeah, sure.
So live activities, dynamic island, the second terminology we need to understand. And by dynamic island, I mean all the basically zones around it. So like we said before, we have leading side, trailing side, plus there are two more variants, minimal variant, attached and detached. The difference, basically, if there are multiple live activities active, the operating system may decide that your live activity is less important, so it will move you to the detached state.
Do you know how it decides that?
If I'm not mistaken, it's about priorities. You can set like my live notification is super important. So I'm not sure if it's going to work between apps. I know it will work across different live activities started by the same app.
Oh, really?
This is, I'm not sure about
basically
you
said Z index 1000.
Not really.
Not that's really. Why
it's more flex 1 versus flex 0.5, because it occupies the same like space, but the higher priority one takes the middle section and the left side, and the second one gets like pushed to a single small dot on the right side.
Yeah.
And to be completely honest, I never managed to trigger this detached state. So yeah.
I've seen it in practice, like with timers, for example. When you have your clock up and you start a timer in it, timer will be like, sometimes it will be detached. But going back, expanded state. So if you, for example, hold the live activity, when you press or touch the dynamic island, the live activity will turn into expanded state. And last but not least, the lock screen, which is kind of like the usual thing you see when it comes to live activities. But the problem is that, for example, I would love to have a lock screen like live activity, but I don't really have any idea what to put in dynamic islands. So I would expect Apple to allow me to kind of skip the dynamic island, right?
Right.
No.
Wrong.
Apple is forcing us to provide both dynamic islands and lock screen. Like, you need to provide something. It can be nothing, but still you need to provide something. Unless I'm wrong.
Well, that's a complete dress code.
So I know why they do that, because they are forcing you to use like the new features of the operating system. Like, you cannot really ignore them in order to ship the application and to allow users to use your feature. You need to also
on one hand, yes. On the other hand, don't get me wrong, I'm not a fan of their approach to that, but it helps to grow the familiarity between features for users. If you have when you are using an iPhone, you have a certain expectancy towards all of the apps you are running and a certain flow you are using. And Yeah, I think it's kind of because how Apple makes developers work in certain way. Some of those limitations are complete bull crap, and one of those issues is I bet you know which one.
What? Which one?
Which one?
Well, in my opinion, personal opinion, it's the timers. The
Oh, when it comes to
formatting,
live activities, okay.
yes, the formatting
Yeah,
on timers on live activities.
we
It's
will get
complete.
it. We will get to it.
All right.
Okay, so last but not least, you may not notice, but if you turn your iPhone horizontal and plug it into a charger, it will run something like standby mode. So if you put it near your bed, for example, at night, you will see some like clock and some maybe notifications and widgets. So this is the last place where live activities can be displayed. So we have around, I would say, 5 variants, I guess. Lock screen, dynamic island, minimal on the left side, on the right side, expanded, minimal, not detached, and detached, and standby. So 7.
That's a lot. That's a lot of things to juggle.
Yep. And there is other problem because if you want to pass any data between live activity and your phone, or you want to send a push notification to update your live activity, you need to feed your data in 4 kilobytes.
Yeah,
4
that was very
kilobytes
fun.
is around, I don't know, 1 char is 2 bytes, right? UTF-8. So it will be byte or 2 bytes, so not really that much characters. So another problem with approach like Voltra is how to fit as much data as possible in 4 kilobytes, so people can describe all the possible variants Apple expects us to offer to users.
But wait, do you mean pass? Because when you are declaring live activity, you have basically a state, right, and the properties for live activity. So, which part of the data passing is limited by 4 kilobytes?
Content state, the dynamic part.
Oh, okay.
Yep. So if you don't know, if you start live activity, you need to pass something called not Voltra, but generic like live activity attributes,
Sorry,
which
I
are
just copied
static.
something from Stack Overflow and posted in the chat. So you can store between 1,000 and 4,000 characters.
Oh, right, 4 kilobytes. But the problem is that live activities themselves, the API around it, needs around 600 bytes. So in the end, you are left with
3.4.
3,200, something around that. Like the envelope around the messages also contributed to the limit. So initially, when I tried like pushing everything without any compression, I ended up with a single variant, the lock screen variant, and that was it. No space left, which was the problem because, well, with only a single variant, and that variant wasn't that much like complex. It was this example of something for flights, where you see your starting airport, ending airport, gate is open, yada yada yada. So this representation took basically exceeded the limit, which is tricky. But
So,
Voltra
okay.
is but Voltra is doing some work under the hood to make sure that you will be able to squeeze as much as possible with those 4 kilobytes, which I will obviously talk more later. So I think that's the moment when we go into like demoing things and maybe playing with Voltra.
I was also like, do you happen to have, and like, feel free to say that you are not prepared to do that because we didn't agree on this beforehand. Do you happen to have like showcase implementation of this in Swift? Like, how would it look like in Swift? Or just like open the API
So,
page and like show us some Swift code how to achieve this?
I can show you, actually. We have our the experiments repository, because we were implementing live activities there, actually.
Yeah, like on the previous live stream. I wasn't there.
No. I mean,
so
it's pushed in the repository. So you can
feel free to share your screen.
Oh, yeah, sure.
Because I'm
One
not going
second.
to find it. In the
One
meantime, I would try
second.
to connect. Because for the last, I think, week, I was using my MacBook, like with, how to say that? Like normally, I have my keyboard, my mouse, MacBook is closed, sitting in the background, and there is a huge screen in front of me, 32 inches, and the life is great. The problem is that my keyboard died when I took my other keyboard from shelf, basically, and I started working with the old one. I spilled coffee on it, and well, the keyboard was dead, basically. So I had to use my my MacBook like in normal mode. Plus, I started using my iPad as a secondary screen. So now the idea is that I will connect to it as a secondary screen, and I will try to share from it. Because
Okay.
with widescreen, if I share the whole screen, and I want to do that because the emulator is here also, you will not see a thing. So maybe
Okay.
if I share to
Sure.
it, it will be
Kevin,
better.
so
But
can you zoom in?
my
Okay.
camera
So
may be dead for a second.
Kevin will showcase
Yeah,
some
just
of
a
this.
quick showcase of the setup. So this is an Expo project. This is actually public repository. I posted it a couple of weeks ago on my X. And so with live activities, here's the module. Here we declare the attributes. Here's the activity itself, declaration of the body of activity, and there is the activity configuration. This is the UI screen and banner declaration, right? So the like the main screen on the lock screen. The dynamic island, which has a couple of variants, expanded regions. So expanded regions is the one when you long press live activity and it shows, like, turns bigger. Compact leading and trailing is the before and after the notch. Minimal is the one detached, basically.
What happens if you don't give it all of the variants? You will get some kind of like error inside the Xcode?
You
Or?
might get just an empty like, because
Okay.
I try to remember, because I remember that it was possible to set a different version, like not use expanded bottom, for instance, and just use the middle. But
Yeah, when it comes to expanded, you need to provide, I think, only one of them. You don't need to provide necessarily all of them.
Yeah.
And the operating system will try to kind of move things around for the whole thing to look nice, basically.
Another limitation, actually, which was very annoying, you can only control the keyline tint. So you have no control over the background and over like the live activity. It always has to be either black or white, depending on your theme and depending on the situation around. But you have
Dynamic island. Let's make that clear, because you can do that for lock screen.
Okay, yeah. So this one, it has a little bit of a different feature set because it's on the lock screen, but the dynamic island, so the one that appears on the top, Apple limits us again with, I had a situation where designers like, oh, we designed a blue. And I was like, apparently we cannot use blue. If you want blue, we can only have like the blue outline. Sometimes maybe we can control it because it's depending on the theme that user set. So after that, we have attributes and content states and the preview. So it's a very simple file, but with just that, it will not work. because we also need to somehow pass this information to our live activity. And by that, we need to create a separate module. And this separate module has oh, sorry, I entered the wrong module live activity.
In other words, it's a long, long, long journey.
Oh, I think I might have added the module to. Oh my goodness! I might have added that to git ignore somehow.
Because the autogen, no, not this one. This is not. If you're looking for the
yes,
for the code for the model, okay.
I don't know why it happened. Yes, so there are no Swift files for that module, but it's basically passing some data and triggers the live activity. So it's two separate implementation. One is like display and how it will look, and second is controlling the data, passing the data, running the stuff. And with that small presentation, I'm stopping the sharing of my screen, giving you back the screen.
Okie dokie. So this is my iPad, and it works, and I'm surprised it works. So yeah, I guess I need to make this one a little bit bigger. So let me reach to my Jesus Christ, not this. This is it enough?
Yeah, it's actually visible.
Okay. So of course I have some like playground app.
Sorry,
because
maybe you can like move the iPhone a little bit to the left, to the edge of the screen, and then you can do this.
We all state.
One random question: is it by accident, or are you one of those crazy people who use light theme for programming?
Jesus Christ! Like somebody I think last week I posted some screenshot video about Voltra with the light theme, and somebody was like, "Why are you using light theme?"
Yeah.
And look at my wall. Look at my background.
This is where I sit. This is not like by accident. This is not because I like light mode. It's because I'm sitting next to the window. And it happens that during the first part of the day, the sun shines directly at my screen. So with dark mode, I don't see a thing. With light theme, I see pretty much everything. So that's the matter of like basically being able to work.
I would just shut down the blinds. If there is a sun or dark theme, I'm taking dark theme, shutting down the sun. Anyway,
it's a long story.
Sorry
So
for interruption.
I won't go through the whole story. You can see the whole story and read it on X. So yeah, feel invited to do that. Going back to Voltra. So what you see right now is basically a basic representation of a live activity, which looks like a normal React Native code.
Well, the VStack and ZStack reminds me of
like
the Swift UI in Expo, like Expo Swift UI package or something.
Expo UI / iOS, I guess, or Expo UI
something like that.
Swift UI, something like that. It does because basically both Expo UI and Voltra needs to do the same thing: describe native Swift UI primitives, so you can use them without going to Swift, basically. Because, well, live activities have around 30 megabytes of memory available, and the time of CPU is severely limited. So there's no way to fit the whole Hermes JavaScript engine into the live activity to provide some like higher order components, for example. There's no space to include yoga, for example. to have Flexbox available. So that's why Voltra is doing as less as possible, I would say.
Wait, sorry.
I need to confirm. Yeah, go, Łukasz.
I wanted to ask. So are you treating this code as man? Is this getting? Are you running this as React code, or are you taking this file and somehow magically creating a Swift file from it?
I kind of
Swift
thought the
files.
same.
No Swift files. I'm trying to get my keyboard.
I really thought that this is the in compilation time. So I kind of thought that this is some magical addition to the code gen.
Nope. This is 100% runtime. I'm just turning off. Okay, I think
the thing I wanted to to ask about, because you said 30 megabytes of memory. So is it like you have 30 megabytes, but you can only trickle the data 4 kilobytes by 4 kilobytes?
It's basically the process. Okay, live activities are separate processes. They're running as a separate process, as a separate app, to be precise. And this app is running in a sandbox environment when you have only 30 megabytes of memory available for your app. If you try to go above that limit, your live activity will most likely crash.
Okay.
So there is no space to run things like Yoga, for example, to get the same layouting engine as React Native uses. Like there's no space for CSS engine to translate CSS into something that Swift UI understands or Yoga understands. So Voltra is trying to translate JSX with as lightweight way as possible. So that's why you are
To
seeing
what? Translate to what?
Well, to JSON. Because
show us.
The outcome.
Yeah, the package magic.
I think that I'm not sure if Shimon wants to show the magic behind the.
Well, it's open source,
curtain.
right? Like everyone can go to the
it
repository.
will be in a day or maybe on Monday.
Yeah,
because I'm finalizing some details with Sol on naming, on the place where it will live. I'm finalizing the documentation, so the code will be open source for sure. There's nothing I would need to hide during live stream. The problem is that the setup currently is it will be complicated to like set up something like, oh, you know what? Wait a second.
No, what I wanted to say was just go to node module and show us the file and
I want to show you that like the thing that's going to cross boundaries between React Native and Swift UI. This particular string, because the string is funny to see because it's not like JSON at all. It contains JSON, but it's not JSON. So
did you use any like? Did you create your own compression algorithm, or did you just use some?
Yes and no. I mean.
Oh, and by the way, hi Neon Jeff, good to see you as well. And you have a show us, we don't mind. Pixar didn't happen.
Create a simple Node.js script using Voltra Server API to render a sample.
You will see if it will.
Kevin, this is how he did it. He takes your ideas, goes to cursor and says, Kevin told me to create this. Create this for me. No mistakes.
I was going to create something and it should be executable. So you will see exactly how the thing looks like. Okay, and okay, and okay. It didn't work, so it's trying from scratch again because I know why it crashed, but this one should work. Give him a second or not. So it's how it looks. Oh Jesus, no, stop it. Okay, we'll get back to it. I know I have a way in my mind how to achieve that without problems.
Okay.
But first, let's go through how it works from the
Explain
developer perspective. Developer experience. So you see JSX, it looks like React Native. It's not React Native, but still you're able to use all the functionalities of JSX and React. For example, you can use style. It's a little bit limited when it comes to the original React Native style versus Voltra style, because Voltra is only supporting a subset of styles.
Did you type it?
It is typed. There. It will help me show the color.
Cool.
Yep. But for example, if you okay, position is not there, for example, because positioning in SwiftUI requires using ZStack, for example. Like position itself is not. It's not a thing in SwiftUI. So Voltra is trying to, like, it's doing its best to convert from the styles we know to SwiftUI layouting system, which is not Flexbox. It's not compatible with Flexbox. So there may be things, there may be cases when you write your code like you would write for React Native, but the results will be a little bit different.
By the way, when I was working with Swift, doesn't because they are using those automatic like boundaries and basically positioning that is it kind of works like Flexbox, doesn't it?
No.
With certain limitations, I guess. Less intuitive.
The difference is like in one system, the children has information about its size to parents. In the other system, the parents impose the size onto children.
Oh, yeah, because they are constrained, so they are given down, and the flex box is like for the children to flex.
Oh, yeah. So this is the difference, and it's fundamentally different. And there's no way to implement Flexbox via SwiftUI layouting system because of that. But getting back to the code again, fonts, letter spacing, everything is similar. When you create Voltra's live activities, you need to use Voltra's components, which is kind of expected, because those are the ones converted into SwiftUI equivalents. So we have VStack, ZStack, images, text. Yeah, in this simple example, we got only a couple of them. But yeah, this is basically what you need to create a live activity looking like this, which is basically hello Voltra, welcome to your live activity, with a badge which is positioned absolutely over the image. So this is the image, and this is the text over it, and it's over it because it's ZStack.
It's not positioned absolutely. Positioned absolutely is not supported.
It's positioned over.
It's centered above, horizontally centered.
So now if we go from this like simple example to something more, I guess, complex, we will see something like this. Which is a combination of like timers, combination of gradients, combination of masks, positioning, and a couple of elements. And this is also possible with Voltra. So this is not only applicable for simple cases when you need to display like three sentences and 3 icons. You are free to use it to create something more complex.
So go to the code. Show us this workout tracker in the code.
Workout.
This is complicated.
Live activity. And the code is also a little bit complicated because, well, this is all fake. I mean, the hash rate, of course, is fake, and the timer is fake. But there's a ton of code about making this the circle go from left to right in correct position according to the hash rate. But besides of that, like the components themselves are pretty much simple. Again.
Okay, so you have the linear gradient as the background. Then you have the VStack with padding. Okay. Then you have the age stack, and the age stack,
which is basically the first line, you see.
Yeah.
So this is the first line.
Mhm.
Then there's a spacer, which is like a special component in SwiftUI, which basically
Meaning flex
moves
one.
things around. Something like that. I mean, it's
Yeah.
basically pushing things. Like it's trying to be as big as possible.
Yeah, flex one.
Yeah.
Yeah, something like that. Exactly. Then we have a timer.
You were mentioning the timers, that the timers are difficult. Can you explain that?
Simple,
Oh.
very simple. It's just annoying as hell. I need to vent about that. So
Go ahead.
we had our designers. They chose a specific way to present the time displayed on the live activity. So I look around, and I found the text component that can be set basically as a timer. Like it can turn into a timer. You pass it the date, pass it the target time, and it just nicely animates the seconds passing or the days passing, whatever. But you are limited to like 12 variants that Apple gives you. And that's it. If you would like to have, for instance, like here, no seconds visible, or like, those other cases, no. For some reason, no. They have around, I don't know, around, I think, for some reason, I think 12, maybe even less. But they have a couple of variants for how the timer is formatted.
Shimon, are you able to change the way the timer is displayed based on what Kevin said? Like change the type of the timer, so I can.
It?
You have above. You have timer component.
Yeah, it's here.
Yep.
So
time where okay, relatives also supported. Hopefully it will work. Yep.
Yeah.
So
and if you would like to display M instead of min to save space and maybe present it in a way you would like to, nah, you show min, and that's it. I think it's because they are also running it through their own like translation engine. So if you would like to just display M, they have no way to cut the first letter in. I don't know, but it was so annoying. It seems so simple, but it's impossible to do. And if you might think, oh, then why use timer component? I should be able to just use text and then set some sort of like refresher or some function that will update the. No, it's impossible. You either trigger a special component that is being animated and controlled explicitly by Apple and by Swift, or go F yourself, and you can update it only once every, I don't know, 60 seconds. If you are being nice, because they don't give you a guarantee. Even in the freaking documentation, when they say, oh, if you would like to close the live activity from the code, you can just call this function and we will close the live activity between 1 and 4 hours from when you called it. And like, what? They're like, yeah, we're just gonna schedule it, and when we feel like it, we're gonna close the live activity.
It is what it is, but yeah, that's right.
And and I had this seemingly simple use case of once at midnight we will be closing live activity, and you know what? No way to do it. And if you are using a relative timer, it's gonna be like it's gonna start moving into minus seconds. It was so annoying. Like
Kevin,
those small
I just
limits.
created a new drinking game. Whenever you start venting on live about something, we need to drink.
You will be responsible for many, many lives after that.
Alrighty, but that's true. And the other problem is that you cannot see that. Or okay, you can. If I change some code, you will see the problem, like the other problem. Where's the timer? There's the timer. If I write background style red, for example, and I apply, okay, you see that it takes a lot of space. And you can't really make it like you can explicitly say you have only 50 pixels available, but you can like make it fit the text you're displaying currently. Like the text will try to occupy as much as it needs to display all the possible numbers, let's say. So unless you're ready to like you know that the timer will not go over an hour, you can say that the width is, for example, I don't know, 100, or that's too much.
No,
Let's
nice.
say 90.
That was
So
precise.
Well,
you can
and
say
then
that. But
and
if
then
it
when you
goes
change
over,
the timer type, change the text style
it's
from
going to
timer
be
to.
cut.
Okay. Okay.
Like there's no way to tell the text to basically stay as small as possible. It will always try to
I
push
think I
everything
figured.
around to.
I think I figured it out. Although, oh no, sorry, because width is always calculated from left to right. Because I was thinking that maybe if you could like modify the width and the paddings inside to just show a specific part of a timer.
It's not going to work.
Yeah,
So
I know.
there are things in live activities that are not great, and because we are constrained by the environment of live activities, you can rechange them. The problem with, for example, the timers is also like the second part of this problem is that you can technically use APIs that I don't want a new version of Arc. You can use certain APIs that allow you technically to schedule some updates. The code will compile, it will run, but no updates will happen. So that's, for example, that's the case with timeline provider. There's a special component with SwiftUI you can schedule updates with, and only the sub view will be updated. And it works, for example, in widgets, as far as I know, but with live activities, it won't be called at all. So the only way to have timers is basically to use built-in timers with built-in styles.
I believe.
And why Apple did that?
So you said that live activities, that Magic Island, is it Magic Island? I think, yeah, it is.
It's
Magic Island,
Dynamic
live
Island.
activities, and
Dynamic
widgets
Island
are the like a separate app as such. So like, where is this code that you are showing right now in relation to your regular normal app?
Like the app, the code lives in your app.
Mm-hmm.
So,
but like, so you opened your app, right?
let me
The like
find the
showcase
first
app
file.
you showed us before.
So, if I understand correctly, there is a module that is responsible for displaying live activities, but instead of being described like in my file, it's being just responsible for parsing the data that's being sent from React Native, and like positioning it.
More or less. As a developer, you can use imperative API, which you can import and basically call a function whenever you like, or you can use a hook, which is more. It's more for
Reactive.
things for live activities that basically are supposed to change, or you are developing live activity and you want to see live updates happening without the need to constantly call the update function. And as you can see, you can provide different components for each variant. So different for lock screen, different for island, minimal, compact, expanded, plus
Super
keyline tape
props,
is also
super
supported.
props from me for being even more precise with your naming convention than Apple, because I see you used deep link URL where they are using just URL. So I assume that underneath you are parsing that into a deep link URL and passing it to URL in the live activity, right?
It's basically widget URL. That's the name of the property.
Yeah.
Modifier.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is the code technically showing you the this live activity, which when I go to the log screen, you will see a small line, the gate number, and the expanded state.
That's super cool.
Click on it.
So,
Click on the expanded state. Okay. So like
uh,
the expanded
back to the app.
state on dynamic island is the same as the state on the log
Similar,
screen.
not
Is it
same.
always?
It's
Similar,
not
not
like
same.
size is different. So it can be tricky to display the same thing. Like in this case, it's different because if you look closely at the font size, this one will be a little bit bigger than this one.
Also,
the height is different.
There is this one huge difference that is not visible here, but the dynamic island, when it's expanded, well, it has a huge notch inside, right? So you need to design that
like this,
around,
this
like you need to design that around the thing, and lock screen is just like straight up.
Okay.
And I'm doing it right now. So you have leading, trailing, bottom. So leading, trailing, bottom. And
that's super, super cool.
This is so like I can understand this. This is a great API. Like this implementation looks much better for me than the one from Apple, that the one that Kevin showed in this like Swift UI kind of thing.
Because this is what you do, what you use every day. So
yeah. Listen,
like
I made it work. Shimon made it simple.
Something like that. Yeah. So going back to examples. Liquid Glass is of course there.
Can your app display several different live activities at the same time? Is it allowed?
It's up to 5, I guess.
Okay, because like you are doing it right now, right? All of those are from your app.
After the last one, if I try to run it all, at some point I will get an error message from the operating system. Oh, you see that? It's not allowing me to
what
start
does it say? What does it say?
It's like generic error coming from Voltra because this case is not yet handled like nicely. But I noticed that while testing with all the activities started because there are many of them.
No, that's crazy.
Actually,
those are also so beautiful. Like I love
how
nice all of those look.
And the Compass one is interactive, but of course, because we are in emulator, it won't work. But if I run it on my iPhone and go around, you will see the arrow changing states.
Oh, nice!
Rotating.
Awesome.
That's so cool.
Yep.
That's really so cool, and huge kudos on preparing the example app. Like it's super easy to operate. It looks beautiful.
It's even better because this thing you see is basically Voltra's UI embedded as part of Regnative UI.
That's Storybook,
bro,
right?
Just
that's your own Storybook.
Send it to Apple. Make them add it to their documentation.
Basically, this is JSON, the same JSON produced by Voltra, but instead of sending it to live activity, I'm rebuilding the Swift UI hierarchy in Regnative. And this is useful because now I can see if I change something, I can clearly see if I broke something or not. So going back, for example, the same goes to styling. Like I see all the styles.
I'm gonna yoink this example app just to have the visual representation of all of those Z stacks, V stacks.
You should definitely publish this as like its own separate app on the App Store.
Yeah.
Yep. But now the fun part.
That wasn't fun yet. God damn.
Yeah, that was so boring.
Displaying images. So let's say you are driving an Uber and you want to display, or you're working on an app for a taxi company like Uber, for example, and you want to display an image of a driver, the avatar. Can you do it? Can you show this image from a remote URL in a live activity?
Yes.
No. Yes and no. Yes and no.
The tricky part is you cannot display any remote images in live
Really?
activities. Yeah.
Well, Uber does.
Because, well, there are two ways to mitigate that. Okay, three ways to mitigate that. Way number one is basically use base64. So if we have 4
Oh, yeah.
kilobytes, base64 is not a great
But
way to
can't
send
you
images.
just pass the image URL to the live activity and make it fetch the image?
So
Really? Oh wow.
no network I/O possible. So the second way is to basically at build time add some assets to your app, to your live activity target to be precise, and then you can load the images from the assets. That's cool.
So you have to
But
prefetch.
like you have to have them prefetched at build time, and
At
then that's
build
okay.
time.
Yeah, that's okay, because then you're able to use them because they are in the code for live activity. That's cool. But
Well, that would be tricky
it doesn't
to
apply.
build in build time, add all of the images for all of the drivers in a
Yeah.
country or whatever.
So there comes the third possibility that you can download the image on the app side, like preload, and then save them in the place where live activity can access them and display them. So Voltra also allows you to preload images and display them
Okay.
without any like Swift code, Swift magic. It's all handled. So for example, some random image, when I click download, it displays as a clear image, like the fallback, and then it turns into the image when the image is downloaded. It takes some time in this example because I'm adding an artificial delay on purpose.
Oh,
to see
I thought
that
you just have
the
a bad
first,
connection.
this is on purpose because I want to see. Yeah, there's this, and it should change in a minute. Oh, okay, I'm starting way too many of them, so that's why it's breaking. But okay, clear images.
Sorry,
Start
can you
over.
open several different ones of the same type?
Yeah, they're
Yep.
being named underneath.
Huh.
So
The
it's like
name is different, but
yeah, when you are creating an instance of live activity, you are basically telling Apple which implementation you want to trigger. So you're passing the interface, and
Yeah.
you are picking the name to name that instance. And all of those instances can be like Voltra 1, Voltra 2, Voltra 3, and it's gonna work. Should work.
Yep. So when it comes to code, you basically have not this API to preload images and store them under some keys, and then you can use this key
That's brilliant.
in
To
in
reference
a Voltra
the
component
image.
to reference the image.
Wait,
And
so
then
you
you need
are
to, of course, reload the live activities that are supposed to use this image, because normally they will not be refreshed by the operating system.
so
So
you are basically using the same API that uses like for widgets. So basically, like it was like default storage, something like that.
these are
To save,
defaults.
yeah.
It's not user defaults. It's something similar, but not user defaults.
They have a couple of storages.
But it's using app group capabilities to share the same storage between
Nice.
both parties.
That's smart.
So
Well,
yeah,
it's like it will work for Uber because when I order a cab through Uber, like I'm in the app ordering a cab. How
yeah.
about listen, sometimes I would order an Uber Eats from my tablet, but I have the same account on my app, and on my app I would get a live activity, I want to say. Like my
Push
wife would,
notification.
And
but
this is again the
then
part when it becomes tricky.
but then my app, if it wasn't running, wouldn't prefetch the image, right? So like my live activity on my iPhone would be different from my live activity on my iPad.
They can
Yes and no.
basically send the image inside content with the push notification. But push notifications are a completely crazy new level of annoying difficulty. Like it seems simple, but it's not.
Yep. So now a short introduction to starting live activities from a remote server. So what you can do,
Sorry.
and you
Let's
need.
Shimon, let's just recap because that's a lot of information. Okay, so
Sorry.
I want to recap for myself and tell me how dumb I am. So you have this app. This is a playground app for your Voltra library. Go to the main screen
Yep.
on the app.
This is the main screen. Yep.
Okay, go to the main screen on the code editor.
What do you mean by main? Okay, I can
Like
close everything.
just like show me the file for this screen, like
okay.
the tsx main.tsx, home.tsx or whatever.
App.tsx.
Wait a second. That's the
Index.
Or
live
underscore.
activity screen. This is the one.
Yes.
With all the
Okay.
activities.
And then at the top, okay, scroll down to the render function, to the return of this. Okay, so you have a scroll view, blah blah blah. Okay, so that's the screen. And then on the buttons, you basically start the activities. Where do you go to the place where you say start the activity? Okay, it's here. So each one is it's its own component on the list. And then go to the button that you display, the start the activity button.
Right here.
Okay. What do you handle here is active. Handle and handle start. Go to handle start. I want to see that. And then await.
Takes reps from.
Okay, so go to that function, the start function, for
which is
particular.
This function.
Okay, so you have a hook here. So what does it do? So this is like triggering the activity from inside the app. That's not the remote trigger, that's the local trigger.
Yep.
Okay, so show me how do you do that. How do I do that as a developer? No, this okay. You provide this for me.
Yeah.
So go to implementation. Go to the library.
For start?
Yeah.
Okay.
I would say, doesn't it just like run the start? You're showing
that runs some kind of like so this will run a native module function
live activity.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
So this is the imperative API you can use. When you don't need to use the hook. I mean, if you want to like fire and forget, for example, or you're basically updating the live activity once per an hour, let's say, you can use the imperative API. It will work just fine.
Okay.
The only thing that I'm very curious about is your handling of types and stuff like that. But everything you showed so far.
Funny. This is the most funny experience I had because initially, if you creating custom renderers 101. So a little bit a short tutorial. You have something called React Reconciler. This is this is an npm package you can use to write your own React renderers. React 3.js uses React 3 Fiber, that's the correct name, uses the reconciler to create a secondary renderer for rendering 3D elements in your React apps. Skia, I think, also uses React Reconciler to do the same thing.
I'm gonna brag how hip I am today. The thing that is being shared a lot with me and on X is React Blender. So people wrote reconciler for React that basically somehow parses everything you wrote in React into a Blender scene. So that's freaking amazing.
Okay, so I'm going to maybe close all of these. Okay. So reconciler, but the problem with reconciler I stumbled upon about a week in developing the React reconciler based renderer. Server-side rendering. There is no way to stop effects like use effect, use layout effect, and pretty much all other from being executed on server side. And you don't want to do that because this is not the place for effects. And then I went into React DOM code to see how it's handled internally. And it turns out there's a secondary renderer written from scratch for server-side rendering. So then I had to basically throw the existing React reconciler based renderer to trash and start over from scratch. So basically, there's a like handwritten, okay, not hand. I would say 30% handwritten, 70% generated render for React without React reconciler. So it's capable of detecting a couple of components of cases. So for example, let's go to this function and you will see it's checking. Oh, is it strict mode? We don't allow that in Voltra. Oh, is it React profiler? We don't allow that in Voltra. Suspense, not allowed. Portal, not allowed. Yada, 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 yada.
Okay.
I tried this is twice. I'm not sure why there's this twice there.
That's the
Fragments,
70%
memo,
for you.
yada, 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 yada. Like this is a lot to make Voltra work. But it's not that I'm basically ignoring all the hooks because, for example, use context works just fine. If you have a context provider in Voltra component, it will work just fine. You can like use context in children and it will be propagated down. So, for example, you have a theme and you want your Voltra components to be themed via injected theme, you can do that. That's going to work.
Bullshit. Really?
Yep.
That's amazing. That's so cool.
And
but please, I'm literally I'm literally just buzzing here because I can't wait for you to show how you handle
and
the
this is going into internals. This is going into internals because now again, how hooks work? Well, they're pretty simple. There's a global value stored in React, which is accessed when hooks are executed, and that's how React knows which component is being rendered and to which component hooks should be run against. Let's say. So basically, I'm giving my own hooks implementation, and I know that, for example, state will be never used because, well,
wait, hold up.
Kevin, did you see the line swap the something? and he's saying React.h equals something new. React dispatcher swap h equals I'm gonna rewrite my own dispatcher.
This is like you know what it is. Like
client internals do not use or warn users they cannot upgrade.
Wait, what I
want
basically
to ask, there's age, which is React hook dispatchers, and dispatchers is basically a huge object with all the hooks.
How and why would until now I thought that all of everything you showed us in Voltra is just the display that you can pass the props to. You can use hooks and effects in Voltra components.
Shimon, no, you are aware that your like library for displaying live activities, like we wouldn't miss that if it wasn't there, right? Like we would just work around not having the hooks, you know? We can do it without it.
Technically, but like context, I imagine that people will try to reuse the same like higher order components. They will create their own components with Voltra, and they will reuse those components across different live activities. Or people
you really
will
went
have
the
like
extra,
dynamic themes.
Extra 100 miles.
No way.
Like because,
that's
for example, like maybe that's not clear, but you can create your own components and use those custom components in Voltra. It will handle that, like no problem. So you can create your own components with Voltra primitives to save basically save work, and you can use context in it.
That's crazy.
Yep. So,
but I'm still waiting. How are you handling
remote?
Remotes. Show me that. I'm dying.
So now let's see the string going to let's say, for example, this one. And this is for, okay, it's going to be get payload size. No, not this one. Maybe this one. I'm looking for a good test case. Oh, this is the good test case because it has like this function, and I will write really professional code, basically console log it. And now I will call this test, firstly test payload Babbitt. And we should see in a second a nice JSON containing this, basically.
Sorry, but like, can you explain what you're doing? You are running the test, but like, what will we see?
Wait a second. The output of Voltra renderer, basically. The thing that goes from the app to the Swift UI live activity, or the thing that goes from your service, like Node.js service somewhere around the world, via push notification to the live activity.
Oh, okay. So, because like my initial like way of thinking about this was you have some background service that will just like listen for, I don't know, hook, like, I don't know, WebSocket or like a notification, but that
Okay, this is not
notification
good.
will be simple saying, hey, my app, show this notification. But no, what you are actually doing is you are going to have a Node.js server that will have Voltra installed in it, and that Voltra instance on that server will send the parsed
Push
string
notification
directly
with
to
string.
native implementation.
Yep.
Fuck.
So the outcome of this is
Oh.
this.
So Voltra library, like the same Voltra package, is like installable inside React Native project and also on like Node.js servers.
Yep.
But it will only work when the app is not killed.
No. Push notifications will run the app.
No.
You
Because
have
this is a
around
different
30
process.
seconds.
This is the
But,
different app.
no. That's literally that's literally what I was hit by Apple.
But are you thinking about push to start notification?
Yes.
Which is
yes.
this
Yeah.
one will work just fine because the code, the string will go straight to native, straight to the live activity, to the as a content state, and live activity will transform.
Yeah, push to start will work.
Yeah.
But because I just saw that you had some handling for notifications written in React, and that's kind of
It was
surprising.
about push to start token and push to update token. Those two tokens that are generated, and you need to pass them back.
Yeah, because I remember that I spent quite a bit trying to just start the live activity, and then at some point, like after spending 2 or 3 days trying to figure this out, I got hit with error, activity authorization error dot visibility, and I was like, oh, what is that error? So I went to the Swift side, and it said the app tried to start the live activity while it was in the background.
Okay, so
and I almost threw out my laptop.
But you can use push to start from iOS 70.2, I guess. Or
so all of those live activities are. That's just, sorry. I know I started the stream being like, oh, I have experience with that as well.
But you may not see the thing that makes Voltra even better than native. There's one thing native cannot do, and Voltra can.
You are basically
don't have Shimon Khmal.
You are able to basically push and design live activities from the server without need to update anything in the app.
Because Voltra allows you to use primitives and it makes sure that it's try to compress the thing as much as possible. Basically, you can use the primitives with the style engine of Voltra to display pretty much everything. Because it's really
I was limiting my language for now, but this is fucking amazing.
My mind is blown.
So yeah, the output is basically this short string which is not JSON. JSON converted into base64 because it looks like, sorry, not this screen. It looks like base64. I mean, it is base64, but it's not JSON inside. Wait, I need to find my
It's
mouse.
gzip.
Oh, wait, something is wrong. Like, hello, iPad. I lost connection, I think, with it. Give me a second.
We still can see it, and your mouse is
I
moving.
know, and
yeah.
I still see the screen, but I also see a second mouse on it.
That's crazy.
Wait, now with this. Oh, no, okay, it works now. Yeah, so going back in here. What was, yeah, I know. So the server entry point, which is this one.
Yeah, I'll be back in a second. Excuse me.
Sure.
So this is like the important part, which is basically compression. So
What's
as I said
Brotoli?
broadly, I think it's algorithm by Google, if I'm not mistaken, like a new algorithm for compressing text. Basically, it's used on web as a not equivalent, but rather a modern replacement for gzip, which was previously a standard for websites, is now Brotli. And Brotli allows you to, well, compress the thing. So, like I said before, with a single live activity showing the like, okay, which one? This one. So I started working on this example. I did this variant. I did the second variant. So this one and this one. And then when I started working on this one, I stumbled upon the error saying that, oh, you are above the limit.
Exceeded, yeah.
So that was like, oh, like it's not going to be super useful. As the library as a whole will not be super useful because, well, I still need to provide some content for this one. So then I started to compress things by hand. So for example,
Sorry, what do you mean compress by hand?
for example, components like names, because that's obvious that SwiftUI needs to know which component to render.
Yeah.
So instead of sending vstack, I'm now sending 0, for example, because both parties know that vstack is 0 and goes to image, text, yada yada yada.
Sure.
Then I realized that props are also well known, so I can shorten the props with shorter names. So, for example, image can be a source can be just S, and that's it. Couple of bytes compressed. And this go also to style sheets. And what's new? I added yesterday to help Danny. Can you find the screenshot by Danny? This GitHub.
I
Danny,
think it's on the Twitter. I will go
can you
there.
find it? Because I don't want to
Yeah.
Because he was like, I gave Voltra to him and said break it. So he was like playing with it. He thought about displaying the GitHub actions, GitHub activities thing, the graph with those rectangles. And he placed around 4 rows of them and said, okay, it's done. Like, I cannot go any further with this. So then I got back to drawing board and I started thinking, how can I fit more data into it? So now, for example, one of the more complex optimizations Voltra does under the hood is basically can reuse it can reuse JSX subtrees between different variants. So for example, you write something like text and put Voltra text in here. If I do something like this, so I put text in here or many times, for example, but like this, the text will be only included once. Like that this part will be included once, and all those references will be basically replaced with references. So if you have like big amount of layout, big amount of elements shared between different variants, you can share them via basic references, and Voltra will make sure to only include them once, which allows Danny to add, I would say, 8 more rows to the to the live activity, and I think there was still place for more. So
Shimon,
it's like,
everything
Are you talking
did.
about this tweet? I'm gonna send it to you over Slack.
post on that on the like internal chat for Studio, maybe.
Okay.
Quick question from Ryan. Isn't it on GitHub yet? I can't find it. If we understood correctly, the official. Yeah, I'm gonna
Like
let Shimon speak.
it's going to happen soon. Like I was planning to do it as soon as possible, even today, but the documentation needs some love, definitely. I mean,
Shimon, by the way, can you open this tweet from Dane? I want to point something out here. And like we should have pointed this out from the beginning, so let's take a time right now. So you've created this, but together with someone, and Dane gives credits to that person in the tweet.
that's
So
why.
do a shout out now so that we don't
Yeah,
forget
that's
it
why
and what we
I
give
wanted to
credit.
start with. I wanted to start with the genesis of the name because that was the part I was thinking to like tell the story. So now let's spend 5 minutes talking about how Voltra came to life. So you may remember a tweet by Saul. I think it was 3 months ago, or even it's even older. Yep, this is the one. So he announced that he built a library for live activities and widgets, which was and is called Voltra. And the publish date was when it's ready, in a couple of months. But I also had this idea to work on some similar thing at the time. So I decided that I will try to follow my idea because I didn't know that Voltra is doing the same thing under the hood. So I tried to follow my idea. My idea worked. I tweeted about it, and then somebody asked, "What about Voltra? Isn't that something that's close to being published?" So instead of like competing, instead of like having a race who is gonna ship first, we decided to reach out to Saul. So we did, and he was very happy to have some help with Voltra. So that's the part where I come in to, let's say, Voltra project, and I start tinkering around, start doing some work around, for example, the render, because the primary renderer or the old renderer was only capable for example, it wasn't capable of using hooks. So I added hooks because I knew that context can be useful to inject themes that can be dynamic. Then I realized there's something else missing, so I started working on it. Then, like, the things started to come to my mind, like every day, new idea how to make the thing better and better and better. So that brings us to the current state of things. For example, the whole compression is done by me because, like, the initial version worked fine without any compression, because, like you see, the examples are pretty much simple. But when I started to do some like stress testing, let's say, I realized that we need compression. Like, this is something we definitely need. So yeah, that's something I added, for example. So the initial idea is definitely thanks all for working on the initial version of Voltra. Because now we will have in a couple of days, I would say Monday, Tuesday, before Christmas, we'll have something really nice to use, and we will be not forced anymore to use Swift. Just
Shimon
amazing.
is putting so much pressure on himself, right? Like
I'm
he's
gonna
saying,
get my wife some live activities
"Oh yeah,
for Christmas."
that's cool."
Yeah. So Voltra, as you can see, is focused on live activities, dynamic island, and widgets. And we didn't talk about widgets on purpose. That's on purpose.
Let me guess. You want to release handling widgets not only for iOS but also for Android?
No. So again, the story. The story is that widgets are a little bit different. They have different limitations, or they don't have certain limitations of live activities. Oh, for example, one funny fact about live activities is that even though you copy the image into the bundle itself at build time, you cannot display images that are larger than 4 kilobytes. You can have them in the bundle. You can reference them in your live activities, but they will be basically gray rectangles.
I remember
that's
I had this issue, and I had no idea what's wrong because
Yep. So currently, Voltra will stop you from copying images that are over 4 kilobytes limit, but the same limit is not applied to widgets. You can display larger images with widgets. So this is kind of something that needs to be handled correctly. So that's why initially I myself focused on live activities to have them done right before jumping into widgets.
Yeah, widgets is a different beast completely.
But yesterday I thought that, okay, well, I have plenty of time remaining, and I can play with something.
Your day is 30 hours long.
Yeah, so I started playing because, like, right now, Voltra is like the foundation, let's say, of Voltra is pretty much solid. As you can see, we can render Voltra in live activities. We can render Voltra in React Native via the preview component. So I thought that technically, like displaying the same Voltra on widgets should be simple. So I did some POC, and well, Voltra has support for widgets right now, with one missing feature I'm working on right now, which is basically providing fallbacks or placeholders before the app is launched. Because when you install your app and you don't provide any, like when the operating system will start your widget when you install your app, like user can add your widget to your home screen, to their home screen, but you need to display something. So right now, Voltra is displaying like generic, please open the app to synchronize widgets, something like this. But right now I'm working on a way to pre-render widgets during pre-build time. So in your bundle, you will have like initial states for widgets. So you will not see like placeholders, but something like customized.
Shimon, everything you ever worked on and presented on our live streams and on X, it was always very crazy. But this is ridiculous.
You outdid yourself, man.
This is ridiculous.
So yeah, this. Oh, and you see, it updated right now because the code.
So how are you handling? How are you handling? Because Łukasz, for context, widgets on Android and on iOS work a little bit differently.
It's only iOS right now.
Yeah,
right
of
now.
course.
That's something I need to.
But so let's forget about Android. But in iOS, first of all, widgets are like you can change their sizes. First of all,
yeah.
So you need to provide design that is flexible enough. But the second part that annoyed me more than anything is that when you are creating a widget and you are initializing it
for a second. I'll be back in a moment.
When you are creating a widget and you are initializing it, you can pass it the data, and it creates for you an array of entries, which are then stored inside the store, let's say, and since like until the next time, until the next time that widgets need more data or you explicitly update it, they are using those entries. So they are basically like, plan and forget, right? The difference is here that Android actually wakes up widgets every now and then for them to refresh, fetch new data and stuff like that, while iOS pre-plans display for widgets starting on first update and then till, let's say, 24 hours, or you can make it sooner, later. You basically have a limited amount of decision making in terms of how many entries you want to pre-plan. So how the hell you like moved around it?
Right now, it's basically a single shot. Like you say, there is only one entry in your timeline, and this is the widget. Like this is the Voltra string to render the widget. So right now you can really plan things in the future. But
Okay.
technically,
You can pass an
what's
array.
stopping you from doing that? Yeah, you can pass an array of Voltra
Yeah.
strings.
Or a
And that
function,
will
why
work.
not? If you have a hook.
Mm, You know, this is not like because if you go to your app, you can obviously like update like I do it right now. So when I go to the app again, the number will update, right? Because the code is running. But I expect that people may not go to the app that frequently. So like you said, you may want to schedule a day of widgets. So that's why like there is a need for some API to schedule
Yeah. Because let's
timeline,
assume
but
a simple scenario where I don't know, you want to make a widget that reminds user to drink water, and when you drink water you want to tap the widget that I did it, and it needs to know that after 3 hours or whatever it needs to again turn into drink water. So I assume that for now you can like use those entries used in iOS, but still you have like a huge amount of work done already. As you said, now it's just a matter of figuring out the best way. So we know it's possible, we know it's doable. It's just about getting feedback and figuring out how to make it easiest and most suitable for everyone. That's freaking amazing work, my man.
Yep. And like the important thing is that something that changed. Like the support for widgets was in Voltra when I first saw the source code. So did it. The thing that changed is in Soul's version there would be always three widgets available: small, medium, and the large one. What I changed is basically that you can define your widgets. You can define your widgets and you can define the variant they support.
That was annoying.
So during pre-build, there's a config plugin which will basically generate Swift bindings for each. So if you add something new, the new widget will be automatically updated in the native code, and it goes the other way also. So we'll remove the widget that's no longer required to be in the widget library. So I'm thinking what's else important there is in Voltra I can show you.
One question from me, because this seems like
There's
weird,
one.
strange architectural choice on your side, but maybe not strange architectural choice, but like something that is very unusual, that this library works for both local notifications when you local activities for when you embed it in React Native, and also like works on the server when you want to do like remote live activities. Like, what would be, and probably you are writing the docs right now, so you'll probably like touch on this on docs, but like what would be the best architecture to set up like the whole system for your product, for example? Wouldn't it make sense to keep all of the templates, all of the logic for your activities on the server regardless, because like you need them there as well, and then just like expose the endpoint for React Native so that you don't include that in React Native itself? Like, what would be your like notes on this?
What, like, the thing you need to or you want to share is basically React components using Volta primitives. because you may want to render the same component, the same live activity on the server side, but also on the client side, because of reasons like you want to, I don't know, make sure that if somebody is in airplane mode, the live activity will be started.
Okay.
For
So you
instance,
want
right?
them in both places, regardless.
You can have them in both places. You don't need to have them in both places. It's up to you. If you have a monorepository with both Node.js, Bun, or whatever else there is, plus React Native in the second package, you can have a third package with Voltra components.
Common.
Yeah, common. It's up to you basically.
Mm-hmm. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
Plus, as we said before, with Voltra you can send basically and display whatever you like. It doesn't need to live in the app.
Mm-hmm.
Because primitives live in your app, and with primitives you're building like bigger pictures. So as long as you are using primitives and you need to use them, you can build whatever you want and send it to the client.
This reminds me of the library that Mike, our co-founder, revealed on React Universe last year.
Oh yeah.
How was that called?
Rife.
Rife.
Use
Yeah.
Rife.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's the same idea, right? That you compose something on the server with primitives, and those primitives, when they land on your phone, they
This is
automatically create the
basically
UI.
server-driven UI.
Yeah.
Like a principle to send something else than code. And on the second, like on the server side, just build some blueprint, pass this blueprint to the device, and device can use this blueprint
He's
to
gonna
build
recreate
the
the
UI.
UI. Yeah.
Yeah, this is basically like principle of Voltra, principle of most likely all the home pages in all apps, because usually they get some like description with sections visible and show them, or create UI elements on the client side. So yeah, Voltra is doing the same thing. I wanted to say one more thing about widgets, because there's a catch with them. The catch is that you can only update them once a minute. So the developer experience is kind of painful, because you change something like twice and the budget is gone. You need to wait a minute. So what I did, I created two components. One is called, I think, Voltra Live Activity Preview, which renders a rectangle with the same size as live activity, so you can like work without real live activity with your React Native app, within your React Native app, and the same goes to the widget. So there is a widget preview component you can use and play with it, design with it, and then you can test it in practice via normal widget, right?
Wait, I'm
So you
quickly
can
checking
basically
something.
basically embed something like this in your app, which is widget background screen, which looks like, where is it? There's it. So Voltra widget preview with family, which is basically the size, and inside you put Voltra components. So in this case, it's, for example, Voltra vstack with 2 text elements. And that's pretty much it. We could try to send a remote notification and to show that you can update, you can start. But setting it up would require me to turn off my camera, which is my iPhone right here, and like stream the iPhone, send the message from the APNS. So I'm not sure if that's going to be like quick. So
I think we're gonna take your word for it. I feel like the way you architected this library, the amount of effort that you put into this, I feel like you could have open sourced it weeks ago and not wait for all of that to be as polished as it is now. I'm like really, really impressed, and I'm not saying that just because I know you and like you work with
This
me
is
sometimes. Like it's really mind blowing how much, how much, how much, how much traction you can get out of React Native primitives and like connecting them with native iOS in a way that it's the sum of iOS and React Native comes like greater than iOS itself.
well, I don't know what to say.
Ah,
how
you
to
didn't
how to
just like
answer.
take the
I mean,
compliment.
uh, well, I need to say that like the foundation was already here when I was added to the repository, so did a great job of like combining multiple disconnected ideas together. So first
Hmm.
of all, rendering SwiftUI from JSON. On the other side, generating native targets in iOS to not force user to do that by hand. And then he basically connected all the things together and had this first version of Voltra. But then I basically started poking around, looking for things to break, and yeah, I broke a lot of stuff. Because, for example, the first problem, like the main one with Voltra, is that Flexbox and SwiftUI are not similar. I mean, they are similar, but they are working in a totally different way: up, down, down, top. So,
Hmm.
for example, things like positioning, it would constantly broke. So I was working something else, added some new properties, the old one broke, for example. Um, like the main example of how exotic SwiftUI is in some cases is basically the case of margin. Margin doesn't exist in SwiftUI. There's no margin. There's only padding. So you may ask how margin works in Voltra because you can use margin. Well, because SwiftUI uses something called modifiers. And modifiers are basically let's say they're modifying the view they are applied to. And the thing is that padding is modifier, so it's basically making your box bigger. Then you
Hmm.
usually apply background color, which is another modifier, which basically takes the current box and paints it to a given color. But then if you use the second padding, the border will be again bigger, but the color will stay inside. So by doing padding, background padding, the second padding becomes margin. So that's something
Well,
Volta
the
handles
first one.
internally. Uh, the second one, because the first one is basically making the box bigger, then background color is coloring the box, and then the third one is enlarging the box
Oh,
again.
okay, okay, yeah, 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 yeah.
So Volta is basically converting styles into a correct
Modifiers.
order of
Yeah.
modifiers.
Hmm.
And this thing also like broke, I think, 4 times already, because I added some new modifier and that broke the order. And yeah, shadows,
It
for example.
sounds, it sounds like this meme, stories from the war, right? When like there is this
It
meme
is.
and
It is.
the
It,
gray background
believe
of
me.
helicopters around.
Believe me, it's like this. It's like this. Yep. Oh wow. One more thing. Like something we didn't, I think, show. Technically, there are buttons you can click, um, and the app is able to handle them and do some changes to the live activity. Um, but this part is actually like the event system, the system for handling interactions is
Hmm.
right now refactored by me, and right now it's like not working well because I basically ripped off the old implementation and started working from scratch. But technically, it works. Like it gives the app an event saying that there was an interaction with given button, so you can do some uh, some changes in the live activity, for example. The only problem with buttons is that every interaction is delayed by around a second. And this is something operating system imposes on interactions, and I think I cannot do anything about that. But the good thing is that even though your app is killed, so right now it will not work, but if I kill my app and I click on the button, the app will be started by the operating system in the background. And the app should be able to handle your interaction and, for example, change the active song
Nice.
in this player case.
I feel like one day we'll have to do another one stream about Voltra to present the widgets and all of the hours, because I feel like you're moving with the speed of light.
Oh yeah, he was talking for 1 hour and 40 minutes just about this, and like we didn't even do any live coding per se. Like we
Yeah,
didn't like do
that's the part I should like do something, but
no modification. I don't think so.
you
I can
see,
see
that's
what you're
something
doing right
like
now, and like we did some of that, and it works. So oh
uh
man,
yeah, and you need to remember that live activity has limits when it comes to high. So for example, right now the image is squashed into like a
No.
small thing. So yep. But it works. The live reload is solid. It's working no matter where the component is living. So you can have your component in slightly different file, and still Voltra will update your live activity. Border radius is here, wave high is here. You can use images as assets, which are preloaded or cloned into your live activity. You can use base64, but I don't recommend that for bigger images. And you can use symbols, which is like the best way to display any graphics.
Amazing.
Because
So
symbols are baked into the operating system, so they are free.
when can people expect the official drop?
Before Christmas.
Before
So
Christmas.
is there
I
a
have 3 days
sign up
left.
page for this?
No, nothing like that.
So anything you would like to plug before we finish, so like
Yeah.
people can go and follow and be aware of the changes
Where
and
should we
news?
follow you?
On X. That's the like main source of info about Voltra, about anything I
All
do,
right.
basically. I would say even it's okay. Let me maybe do something like this.
Yeah, I already shared your X.
Huh. Okay. So yeah, you can see a lot of stuff happening.
I love
Why
how
is
your
my
title is Senior Software Magician.
sometimes I feel like this when I'm coming with
It's fitting. It's
But
fitting.
so before Christmas there will be another end at the end.
yep. Exactly. So as you can
So
see, I'm posting
only
some
two Infinity Stones left.
I guess so. I have no idea. Like, oh, this is the like the promise I gave
Nice,
8
amazing.
years 8 years ago. My God, my brain is shutting down.
Yeah,
8 days
yeah.
ago that we are going to give you Voltra before Christmas, and I'm doing everything to hold onto this promise. So you
Keeping
will
to the
have
promise.
Voltra. Yeah.
Awesome.
Like the only part missing is basically do some review of the documentation to make sure that everything is there and it's right and it's up to date with recent changes in Voltra. And then I guess we will release.
Share it with me.
I think
Share it with me. I'm gonna check it out to help you out. We did something similar with your previous library where you
yeah.
were finishing it up, and I was about to give a talk about it. So I would use your library and your documentation, and we would communicate for like for hours to get to the bottom of some of those things.
Yep. So that's why I want to make sure that everything is in place, everything is ready to give people what are they waiting for. Well, it's a long story, and the story is about to maybe not finish, but like the second half of the story is going to unravel in 5 days, I guess.
Nice.
5 days.
So I'm sure we'll get back to that topic, but yeah, I think it's also important to announce now that Łukasz, correct me if I'm wrong. Today and now it's the last stream of this year.
Well, funny you say that. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. So
Yeah.
I'm thinking
But only on
next week.
of that year.
Next week it's going to be what, 26th, 27th?
You can
26th.
switch the layout.
Oh yeah. So next week is going to be 26th. So we are off, spending time with our families,
Playing video games.
unpacking presents, etc., etc. And week after that is 1st of January. And I'm not sure if we're gonna stream on 1st of January. We'll see. If not, this is a 2-week break from us. If we are, it's a 1-week break. But we will surely be back next year with the same
More
energy, with even more hype, with more libraries from Callstack and elsewhere. So we will see you then. And let's thank our listeners. So Ryan, as always, thank you so much. Grzegorz, thank you. Mahish, thank you for joining. Thank you, Nipper in Shorts. Thank you, Callstack Engineers, which is me. Just typing here. Thank you, Neon Jeff. Thank you, Mike. Oh, Mike was reposting the stream. Thank you, Mike, for watching. And who else? Thank you.
Yeah, there was a quick question. We didn't mention the question because Ryan responded actually in the chat, which was super amazing. Thank you, Ryan, again.
And thank you, Mike Pieszchała. And yeah, thank you, Szymon, so much for joining. It's always a pleasure to have you here. I learned a lot from you.
Blowing our minds each visit.
The what?
Blowing our minds each visit. Szymon is blowing our minds each visit because
So
we will see what will be the next thing that's going to blow you up. But there's one thing cooking already in the background, so
shut up.
Don't say it.
Have Christmas.
Keep it quiet for the next
Go
year.
and have Christmas.
That's my plan. That's my plan.
See ya.
See ya.
Bye.